What up, lads and ladettes?
We're here with a very much a childhood game. This is very nostalgic for me.
Does it hold up is the question.
It holds up in ways, and other ways it doesn't.
Chameleon Twist.
It's very interesting. You'll kind of see that this game kind of feels more like a tech demo more than a finished game.
Well, there's a second one on the system.
Yeah. So I'm which one should I pick?
Davey?
Davey? Okay.
Yeah. I assume there's no differences.
Yeah. Obviously, you can tell in this game that the chameleons, when they morph, don't really look like chameleons. They just look like big blobbed things.
Busy, busy, busy! No time to waste! Wonder what this is from.
I wonder.
Oh dear, I'm running late!
I've never heard of a top hat wearing rabbit with an hourglass stopwatch.
Yeah, literally sued. Disney suing right now.
Do they even own anything
Why are you saying such? I guess that's true.
I thought it was just a free property.
Yeah, you're probably right. Just like the Little Mermaid and Aladdin and all that. But they have lawyers, so they would find a way to be like, no, that's exactly ours.
And it's like to the point where why would you even bother making anything Alice in Wonderland related? It has to be something really weird like that. Those Alice games.
Yeah. Just like way out of left field. So yeah, Chameleon Twist is a game that we played when we were younger. This is the childhood copy we had. It's not in great condition.
Yeah, I brought my own controller and game, but I forgot to hold my guest, so we're using our original one. And it works!
But look, the chameleon has changed shape. This story.
Yeah, it has a lot of story.
I wonder where that rabbit went.
I'm pretty sure there's no story from now until the end of the game. I can talk to the rabbit while so obviously the main gimmick of this game is the tongue that you can control with the analog stick and suck things up and shoot them.
Honestly, it looks pretty decent, all things considered.
Now, one thing that I did immediately was change the camera out like as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because
so yeah, this is a really cool gimmick for a platformer. You know, most gimmicks on platformers are like, you can jump, you can run. This one's, you know, you can jump, right? Or no? Okay, you can jump, but this one's like, in what special ways can you use, you know, your tongue, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. We'll get to it. This game's not very long. It'll be one sitting. But you'll kind of see that some stages, like, squander the potential of this game and are more like just kind of, you know, just generic platforming.
So I'm going to start out this video with an unpopular opinion, and Trevor probably knows what it is already, and that's the N64 is probably the weakest mainline Nintendo system.
What? The Wii U exists, dude.
Besides the Wii U.
Except the one that's worse.
Alright, the second weakest. I know people have real nostalgia for the N64. Yeah. And, no, don't get me wrong, I mean, Banjo-Kazooie is probably one of my top 20 games. The Zelda games are great.
Like,
Mario 64 is great.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, the N64 is obviously a very awkward hardware timeline where, I mean, everything is just so basic in terms of 3D. Like, it's just in its infancy. And the controller, a lot of people hate the controller. I'm not, like, a huge fan of it, but it's still, like, I can use it.
So...
But the game selection on the N64, even though it doesn't have a ton of games, I think there's some amazing games on the N64.
I mean, I agree. I think the main problem with the 64 is it only had 300 games ever made for it in the US. And if you think about the fact that, like, 10 of those are football games, 10 of those are wrestling games, you know... 10 of those are random racing games, right? Like, you get to the point where, like, there's probably only... I'm going to be generous here and say 50 of those 300 games you would want to play.
Yeah.
I'm probably being pretty generous on
I would
this.
agree. I have a lot of N64 games, but probably about 50 of them I want to play.
And, you know, you could be like, oh, you know, like, we've showcased rarities on this channel before, like Clay Fighter Sculptor Cut, which is not a great game, it's fine. And, you know, Super Bowling, which is awful. Dude, a speedrun of this game would be awesome.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the N64. Again, if you're like, take the top 10% of the the library, which would be 30 games, and compare it against the best 30 games of other systems, okay, yeah, then I can see it. But if you look at it for the console as a whole, I guess it's technically the opposite of the PS1, where there were just so many games that...
And, like, if you would ask me if I would choose the PS1 or N64, I'm picking the PS1 every single day.
And, I guess the best way to put it is that it just didn't have enough games and enough... honestly, and if you think about it, how many mainline franchises just skip 64 ones?
Yeah.
For instance, like Metroid.
I mean, the biggest problem with the N64 was just the cartridges that they used.
Yeah.
They were expensive to produce. They had very limited storage capacity for a 3D game, which is why, like, basically everyone just immediately abandoned Nintendo and went to Sony, even though it was their first console.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Sony was already a titan in terms of making hardware, but they made one of the first CD consoles that was actually, like, affordably priced and decently capable, and everyone is like, okay, PS1 it is.
So yeah, like, it's funny because there's two systems that are really huge right now in the video game world, and it's the N64 and GameCube. And you would think, given my age, being born in the late 80s, that I would be more nostalgic for the 64 than the Cube. But I think the Cube did not get a lot of love back in the day, besides for, like, Smash Brothers and Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And I think the Cube is an amazing, unique system, whereas I'm really not the biggest fan, as I've mentioned, of the 64. Wow, that was really good. So, like, the fact that people are, like, on the GameCube bandwagon, I'm, like, all for it, because I'm like, the GameCube is really unique. Really, really unique, so...
Yeah, obviously everyone cares about GameCube now. It's like everyone's favorite console. But...
And it's funny because I was around when the GameCube first came out, and people did not.
Yeah, I mean...
GameCube, honestly, in terms of, like...
Everyone hated Wind Waker, everyone hated Sunshine.
Yep. Everyone hated Sunshine. People want to pretend that that's not the case, but that is absolutely the case. By the way, what does the rabbit say to you?
I don't know. It's probably like, hey, there's ants in this level.
Okay, so he just tells you what to do. I didn't know if he would be like, thanks for following me down here.
I never talked to him, but... Yeah,
but yeah, I remember when the Cube was out, like, granted it had fans, but they were mostly the Nintendo fanboys, honestly. All things considered, except for Smash Brothers and Mario Kart.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I think people cared about Metroid Prime, but the problem was that it was on the GameCube, and not a lot of people own the GameCube.
Yeah, but now it's like, if you look back at... Oh, wow. If you look back at the revisionist history, it's like GameCube was the best system ever, Wind Waker was the best game ever, Sunshine was always loved. It's like, Sunshine was not loved. Yeah. Like, it wasn't reviled, but it was definitely not, like... 64, when Mario 64 came out, it was universally loved from the go point, and that was not the case for Sunshine. Metroid Prime was universally loved from the get-go. But,
What? Stupid.
And Wind Waker, obviously, was not,
Yeah. I always loved Wind Waker as a kid. I guess I was just too young to be jaded, to be, like, mug graphics.
I don't know, like, and
but
then when they came out with Twilight Princess, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, Twilight Princess turns me off, even though we did a whole LP of it, because I'm just like, it's so dark.
Yeah, it was definitely Ocarina of Time, too. They were just, like, damage control from Wind Waker.
What is going on here?
So ants will start spawning out of...
I just gotta kill the ants.
You gotta kill them all. Even if you miss one, you have to do another cycle. So this one's not too bad, but there's another one that they go, like, twice as fast. So it's not hard, it's just more how much time are you gonna waste.
But yeah, I do realize that we've literally done, like, 2 N64 games in the past month, being this and Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, which, it's weird to think, but those 2 games is 1/150th of the whole N64 library, which I don't know why I find so amusing, but I find that quite amusing. I don't know, it's just tough.
Whoa.
Oh, rip.
Hello.
It's just like the Wii U. I can never consider the Wii U to be a super success because of how few games it had, you know? Which, by the way, nice. What was I gonna say? I think the N64 is probably... That was a speed strat. I'd say the N64 is probably the most popular and sold system to have the least amount of games, if that makes sense. Like, the Virtual Boy only had 14 games, but it was a flop, right?
Yeah, it was a horrible flop.
And
yeah, even the N64, like, comparatively to the Super Nintendo, had sort of disappointing sales, but I think it still sold like 35 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Which was still pretty good.
And
obviously not the PS1's like 100 million or whatever it was.
Right. And you look at, like, the Saturn. Dude, the Saturn, like, people look as, like, a commercial failure. It had 250 games. It only had 50 less games than the,
Also, the Saturn, like, was really loved in Japan. So
True, I'm just talking about America, yeah. The Wii U, I think, ended up with, like, 200, maybe 180 games. Which is hard to believe, considering we see the same, like, 10 games every trade-in at CIB. Like, every time someone has a Wii U in games, it's like New Super Mario, Mario Kart, Smash.
I really can't... What's the number that you said?
Like 180, maybe? 200?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it's counting eShop titles.
It shouldn't. I'm gonna double check. And I want to make it clear that I don't think a system being good or bad or a failure is dependent on the amount of games, like, specifically, but it definitely helps. Like, I still consider... I'm way more of a Sony fanboy than a Microsoft fanboy, clearly. But I still consider the 360 to have won the generation, even though Sony fans will tell you, like, oh, but worldwide, at the very end of the system's life, the PS3 caught up. And I'm like, yeah, for those of us who live in the real world, Microsoft won the 360 generation. It just did. If you're gonna be like, well, worldwide it sold just as many by the year 2015, it's like, okay, keep me posted. You know what I mean? But you look at just the amount of 360 games and exclusives compared to PS3, and you're like, 360 won that generation. It just did, you know? And also, I think Trevor and I agree the PS3 is by far the weakest Sony console.
Even though I dislike the PS4, it's still much better than the PS3.
Holy crap. RIP. Surprisingly, there's only 1,262 Wii U games. That really surprises me.
What did you say?
There's only 1,200 Wii games.
Oh, okay. You said Wii U, and I was like, huh?
That would be crazy. Let's see. 164.
I hate this reboot.
And I will admit that the Wii U was the thing I was most wrong about, because I told every friend who was like, should I collect Wii U? I was like, absolutely, because it's really cheap right now, and by right now I meant like a year ago, 2 years ago.
Maybe in the future. I mean, the consoles have risen in price a bit, but I don't know. The problem is that Nintendo has been porting every good game to the Switch.
And that's the big problem. That is something I really did not foresee. Like, I was like, everything is limited. Even something like Mario Kart, we never have more than 3 or 4 copies at a time, right? For Wii U.
So this boss is, might be a little bit disappointing, but I think this is probably the hardest boss in the game. It has an interesting gimmick of, obviously, the entire stage was about rolling around those grab points. But you have to, like, pay attention to these ants, because if you touch them when they're, like... If they make contact with your body, they actually take damage. So you have to, like, pay attention to where they are spatially. And obviously this thing's such a big target.
That's my butt.
And unfortunately this game does not work on the rules of Mario. You have to hit them 5 times. So you have to wait for them to...
start spawning.
Yeah, spawn ants. And then you have to wait for them to be in, like, a good position.
Pretty annoying.
I'm not sure if you can just hit the big butt or not, or if it has to be specifically the body.
But anyway, to finish my point on this Wii U thing, I was wrong so far. So far in late 2020, Wii U is not super collectible. I mean, people...
There's, like, some games that are honestly, like, super duper rare that are still expensive. Like, have you ever even seen a game called Devil's Third?
No, I'm familiar with it, but I've never seen it. So anyway, there were 3 major points I would tell, you know, friends that were collectors and stuff. 1, it's Nintendo. 2, it didn't have that many games, so because of that, people can collect all games. It's like me with the Saturn. If Saturn would have had 1,000 games, I would have been like, I'm never collecting them all, right? I mean, like with the N64, I know several people that collected all 300 games. When I say several, I'll say 2 or 3 from the store, right? It only had 160 games, so it is technically pretty easy to collect for, especially when, like, 20 of the titles are going to be bargain basement trash, you know? What was the third? And, was there a third? I kind of lost my train of thought there.
I wasn't super paying attention to what you said.
No, so I was saying that there was 3 main reasons that collecting the Wii U was a good idea. So the 1 is it's Nintendo, the 2 is there's only 160 games, and the 3rd is that it wasn't very popular. And a lot of times you see that. When things that weren't very popular, like the GameCube back then, people get nostalgia for it in the future, and it goes crazy in price. Now, the one thing I could not see is that Nintendo would quite literally port every single Wii U game. Like, okay, now they're doing Mario 3D World.
Yeah, I was about to say 3D World's coming out. They just did Pikmin 3.
Mario Kart. Donkey Kong, Tropical Freeze.
I'm trying to think of what they even have left.
Bayonetta was moved over.
Even something obscure like Tokyo Mirage Sessions got ported.
Dude, and even third-party ones, like you know that infamous Hello Kitty game for Wii U? They put that on the Switch. So it's like, it got to the point where I was like, okay, literally I've never seen it before. Like, yeah, ports happen, don't get me wrong, but I've never seen, like, imagine if Sony was like, every PS2 game we made is coming out as a HD on the PS3. Now, don't get me wrong, they did a lot of them, but it's not like every or a large majority of them or anything like that. So...
Yeah, I think Nintendo is just very, obviously they lost a lot of money during the Wii U and 3DS era. Mostly because of the Wii U. So I think at this point they're just like... It doesn't seem like they're making a ton of games. I mean, 2017 was really good, but right now they're not making a ton of games. And it just feels like they're just kind of just riding the sales of the Switch without really... I mean, they're supporting it, but just not super fast. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, there is a hidden crown underneath that block on the very corner, so it's a little annoying to get it.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo certainly, like, it's bad when, like, Sony brings out as many games as Nintendo does in a year, or just about. I don't know if it's the exact number. But considering Sony's games are really, cinematic, and by those stretches, you know, takes forever to make, like Last of Us 2 took a billion years to make. Yeah. Whereas, like, how long did Mario Odyssey really take to make? You know what I mean? It's a great game, but in all honesty, how long did it take to make?
Nintendo development, I mean, Breath of the Wild took, like, 5 years or something. I don't know about Odyssey, but Nintendo's, even though the games are, like, relatively modest, they take so long to make them.
But yeah.
But what I was about to say is that Sony doesn't make a whole ton of games. They obviously make, like, the super big blockbusters, but even during, like, the PS1 and PS2 days, people didn't really buy the systems for the first-party support. It was because they had such good third-party support and tons of exclusives, at least in the early days.
Nintendo definitely has more support with the Switch, the third-party support. They had essentially none with the Wii U. And you know what? I watched a video on it the other day. I forget who it was, but essentially they were like, you know, you have Ubisoft, right? And they brought a port of Watch Dogs to the system, right? So it's like, the game Watch Dogs comes out, and everyone is pretty mediocre on it, right? And then 6 months or a year later, they're like, hey, here's the Wii U port. Oh, by the way, it's something you specifically have to, like, make a Wii U version because of the touchscreen controls, right? So it's like, it took all this extra money and time, and then they bring it out a year later, and it has poor sales on a system that doesn't have a ton of whatever. And they're like, oh, we're not bringing out any more, like, Ubisoft games on the Wii U. It's like, yeah, if that's how you do it, if you're going to be like, here's a port of a game that people didn't really like a year later, it's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen, you know?
And
EA with Mass Effect 3.
It almost seems like they wanted an excuse to be the shareholders. They're like, we're not going to support the system.
It's weird to think the games that are on the Wii U, like, remember that Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 are on the Wii U? Because...
Yeah.
And
like,
Batman Arkham...
I think everyone was expecting the Wii U to be the next Wii, and then it was not.
Yeah.
Times a million.
Mass Effect 3 has a Wii U version. It's, like, just so weird. Bomb.
And, yeah, the EA relationship with Nintendo, obviously in the early days of the Wii U, they were actually proposing for Origin, you know, that online service that they have, to be the primary, like, service for the Wii U, and then Nintendo was like, nah. I think they got butthurt because of that.
Well, there's a lot of EA games that certainly do not come out on the Nintendo platforms.
Yeah, they don't even support the Switch because I think EA just hates Nintendo now.
I find it very funny because it's like Madden doesn't come out on the Switch, and I'm like, bruh, I would buy Madden on the Switch, even though Madden stinks. It's awful this year. I would play Madden on the Switch. Like, the touchscreen stuff, maybe you can make your own plays or whatever, or just being able to play a handheld one. I was always like, why did Madden not come out on the Vita as well? Well, one did, but obviously the reason is...
Oh, crap. I'm sure one gold crown. Which one did I miss?
Rip.
I need to get at least 20. I'm not going for all gold crowns, but I need at least 20 to get the, there's a little emblem next to that.
Oh, nice.
And this stage is the most, punishing, because, there's only 21.
Very linear.
It's very linear, but there's only 21 gold crowns, so you can only miss one. I know where one is, I just didn't want to do it because it's a pain.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, there's, like, still a lot of games for the Switch where when you say it out loud...
Can I even go back?
What if you go down and then...
I think this lava hurts me. But I might be able to just damage boost. Just,
yeah, that works. But there's a lot of games when people ask, like, is there Call of Duty on the Switch? I'm like, there's not. You know what I mean? And it's really weird. Considering Call of Duty had, like, 6 games on the original DS, and then they're not like, we can't even give you, like, a Switchified version, you know?
What do I do? Can I jump? Okay, good.
Or, like I said, Madden, NBA comes out on it, but I don't think... No, FIFA does. I think FIFA reluctantly does, and, like, FIFA from last year or the year before on the Switch was, like, one of the worst rated games ever. Because it just was, like, they did not try at all.
They didn't care at all.
Oh, no, is it the whole... Oh, no. It sucks.
I did a run today where I pretty much specifically planned it out that I would just skip this one because I knew where the other 20 were. But
yeah.
I guess I just missed one. I don't know which one I missed, though.
Huh. But yeah, it's good to see the Switch getting more third-party support. I mean, I think at this point you'd have to be dumb not to just port whatever game to the Switch because it just sells so well. And not only that, the games sell for more than on the PS4 and Xbox One. Like, you could be like, if the game's $20 on the PS4, you could easily be like... look at Skyrim. Skyrim's still $60 on the Switch, you know?
I think Witcher 3 is still like $60.
Yeah. And it's just like, PS4 Witcher 3 is like 15 used. And it's just like, alright. Yep, the $60 version. And you know what? Base Todd Howard and Bethesda, they still get that little bit of moolah.
I was so scared. If you jump off a platform in this game, everything resets in the stage. So it would have been not fun.
So one really interesting thing, speaking of game development, that we're gonna start seeing in the next, like, now and up towards the next 6 months is because of COVID and because of how I assume, although developers are still making games, I assume it's like a slower process now because, like, a lot of people being at home and all that kind of stuff. We are in a dry spell in terms of new games that I've personally never seen before. Like, if you look at, besides Cyberpunk, which is quote-unquote coming out on December 10th, which that might be when this video is up by. Who knows? So we might know the answer by then. There are, like, 2 games that have, like... Besides really indie titles, there are, like, 2 games that have, like, release dates for, like, next year. And that's, like, Far Cry 6 and Mario 3D, which is just a port. It's,
yeah, it's rough.
Pretty alarming. Usually at least there's something, but, like, for a lot of these PS5 games, like, I don't know.
So the gimmick of this is you shoot out the
Oh, that's cool.
pieces. So this boss is not super hard.
It's like the first boss in Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's pretty alarming because I know a lot of, like... Nice slowdown too. I know a lot of... We don't really do it at CIB, but a lot of places really focus on, like, new stuff coming out as, like, a breadwinner kind of thing. And it's pretty worrisome to be like, what games are coming out on the PS5? It's like...
Now, I will say that when the PS4 came out, I remembered that it had a couple dry months too. I mean, the launch of the PS4, I think, was possibly even weaker than the PS5. Although it was a very different climate.
It had more games, but they were crappier. What was the best one? I think it was Little Big Planet 3.
That was definitely not a launch title.
Pretty sure it was. Let me see.
Okay.
Let me see, mate. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure that the PS3, in terms of first-party stuff, was just Knack and Killzone. Might have had a port of Last of Us. I'm not sure when that came out.
You ready?
Yeah, it was Little Big Planet launch title.
Angry Birds Star Wars, Assassin's Creed 4, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, FIFA 14, Injustice Gods Among Us, Just Dance 2014, Killzone Shadowfall, Knack, dang, you were right, Lego Marvel Superheroes. I didn't realize that was a... Madden, NBA, Need for Speed Rivals, and that's it. So it had maybe like 10 games, but if you're looking back on it, I guess Killzone was the best one? I guess technically.
Yeah, yeah, the PS3 launch, at least the PS4 has Demon's Souls. Although the weird thing is that a lot of games don't have, like, PS5 versions of, like, sports games. Like, no Madden, no FIFA.
Yeah, it's weird. They have an NBA, but they don't have Madden. But then, like, I think a lot of the things are like, if you buy Madden PS4, you would eventually get it on the 5, I think.
Yeah.
It's
and obviously they're riding off the thing where obviously the PS4 was not compatible with any PS3 games and the PS5 is compatible with all PS4 games, so that saves a lot of money. Just sell the PS4 version.
I think they just didn't want to have to, like, port an already super bad game. I desperately want a good NFL game, and Madden for the last, like, 3 years has been so bad.
Gotta sell those Ultimate Team packs, and that's the only thing
That's pretty much all they care about. And it's funny, because that's the only thing I don't care about. I would just want a fun franchise mode. Like, it's really, really sad to see... Are you skipping that one down there?
I'm getting it.
Oh, okay.
I can't, like, go up from here, so I'm just getting the crowns and then resetting.
But, like, I watched someone on YouTube play as, like, a creative player in Madden 08, and the amount of just stuff is just so cool. Like, just, I don't know, the amount of gameplay stuff is just awesome. And, I don't, like, 12, 13 years later, it's, like, half as many things that you can do, and that's just sad.
Yeah, and obviously the NFL doesn't care. I mean, they're probably getting a lot of money from EA. I mean, all they care about is money, too.
Yep.
So, this part is annoying. So, the reason why I decided not to do an all-gold crown run is pretty much this part right here. When you're on this, you can't jump or move.
You can only use your tongue.
Yeah. So, it looks like I can move, but I can't. I think I should be fine without that. I'm just gonna kill myself just in case.
I get what they're going for,
Yeah.
but that sucks.
It's very weird how it works. No.
Wow!
I'm pretty sure I know where 20 or more crowns are, but I want to do the same thing that I did with the stupid bomb level.
Yep. Especially considering this one, you probably can't go back.
I guess I'll just... Why?
Oh, by the way, sand level. Every game ever.
And stereotypical sand music, if you know what I mean.
Arabian Nights, like Arabian days. Every single time.
There's a crown over here. I'm not gonna bother getting that one. I just want to not die.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. One of my favorite, like, funny things is when, like, someone's not used to, like, retro gaming at all, and they're like, hey, I got an N64, and I hooked it up to my 1,000-inch flat screen TV, and it looks really bad. What do I do? And it's like, my man, I got some news for you.
Literally nothing. Did you know that Nintendo hard-coded anti-aliasing into the N64, which is why every game looks blurry?
That's so based. All I tell them to do is do what we do, which is put it on 4x3. Which, granted, does help quite a bit. I mean, we're playing on like a 42-inch TV, so I can't imagine how stretched out it is, you know, for like a 70-something, you know? But it's like, how do I make this N64 not look bad on this TV? It's like, get a tube TV, my dude.
Yeah, it's really just... It sucks because you... Oh, oops. You feel bad, because... people were probably just trying to experience their childhoods again, and they're like, oh, my childhood sucked.
Rip. Except for Chameleon Twist. Chameleon Twist does not suck. It's pretty decent. Obviously, I don't know how it controls, but it looks like it controls pretty well.
Yeah, it controls fine. It's,
We didn't mention this is a 1997 game, so it's like...
pretty early.
Decently early.
Good.
Yeet. A little awkward.
It's just mostly just you can't jump or move. I don't understand this part, to be honest. I just damage boost.
Well, then they give you 4 hearts right there.
So I don't know what they're expecting.
So they're like...
maybe you can use... I never used my tongue on them. Maybe,
oh,
maybe
if you just, like, kind of, like, stood up on it. I bet that would work.
Oh, yeah, that probably would work. We figured it out.
Oh, man.
This background really reminds me of Bowser in the Sky.
I was thinking Mario 64. This entire game, especially during quote-unquote 2D parts like this, definitely reminds me of Mischief Makers. Just in terms of, like, the general graphics, I guess. Which, Brandon back when.
Remember Brandon?
Brandon back never. Brandon just doesn't like LPs, and that's alright.
Do you still play football with him?
I don't play football, like, right now. But when I go back, yes, he plays. He's actually pretty good. He's way faster than me.
He was on cross country or whatever it was.
I want to say that he's the second fastest person out there.
Alright, so yeah, I ultimately didn't need that gold crown that I died like 5 times on.
If Brandon he's pretty good at catching, but he'll drop it once in a while. If he was good at catching, he would be the best player there.
Are you the best player there?
No. If there's, say hypothetically there's 10 people there for 5-on-5, I'm probably 5th best, 6th best. Just because some of the guys we play with are, like, fast, and I'm not.
Gotta work off that dad bod.
I don't wanna.
I'm in no position to critique anyone's...
No, just literally, like...
Oh, this boss is really, really easy.
We just hit.
Yeah, you just wait for him to land, and then hit him 5 times or whatever it is.
Just someone's like, yo, bro, get fit. And you're just like, eh. Like, that's just it. That's just like, nah, that's fine. I don't want to.
I just... Doing
That's why I play football, by
Yeah.
the way. Because
like,
it's...
doing running or biking just is so boring.
It's so boring. And, like, honestly, when I play football, like, 2 hours can go by. And, like, Nathan, I've been throwing with him on Wednesdays. And we'll go from, like, 12 to 2. And, like, I won't even realize it. I'll be like, oh my god, it's 1:30. And it's just like, if you're running routes and running around there and catching a ball, it's, like, fun, you know? And you can, like, kind of set, like, you know, like, limits and stats and all that kind of stuff. Like, I caught 4 in a row or whatever. Whereas, I guess you can do the same thing for running and be like, I ran a 7-minute mile, but, like, ugh. But yeah, I don't like exercise unless a ball's involved. Unless a bow is involved.
Spencer loves his balls.
Bow.
Get it?
You mean
Bow.
the energy drink from the early 2000s?
Oh, dude,
balls?
balls. I'm pretty sure it just tasted like generic Sprite.
I think I remember it was just like it was just just kind of like almost an energy drink, but almost a Sprite.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
I hate this stage.
Some things are best left in your memory. Cool.
Yeah, there's just a lot of not fun gimmicks in this stage. It's not too bad. I mean, this stuff is alright because you're actually using your tongue to do stuff, but there's like moving platform gimmicks, and you're like, this game is so basic in terms of...
I will say I am impressed with the amount of sprites that can be. I don't think they're called sprites, but like.
No, they're sprites because they're completely 2D.
Okay, the amount of sprites that can be on screen, like a lot of times with those ants in the previous level, there were like 15, 20 with like no slowdown at all, and I'm pretty impressed with it. I can definitely see what Trevor was saying in terms of this being like just showcasing the hardware.
Yeah.
Like, there are games like that. I want to think of some other examples, and it's usually early on stuff where it's like, look what you can do here, you know?
Yeah, just everything... once you notice it, it's hard to ignore that every room is just a cube, and they just put stuff in there.
Yeah.
And, like, they just have an idea, and it's just... It's fun, but you just wish it was, like, just a little bit more substance.
Speaking of games that were kind of like,
This room's weird. You have to, like, make these ice cream sandwiches spawn.
Oh, and then,
they're
like,
invisible.
kill them?
Yeah.
Huh. Speaking of games that were probably, like, tech demos, you know a game I always see on my shelf and I'm like, I want to play that, and then I'm like, no, it's awful, is Toe Ball #1 for PS1. It's like a really early PS1 game. And I'm always, it's like that fighting game, you know, but it's kind of like an adventure game too, almost like a, like Air Guys.
Yeah, it probably sucks.
It probably, I mean, it's early PS1, so it's awful.
Oops. One on the wrong,
Rip.
Peanut butter, chocolate bar.
The land of chocolate. Remember early Simpsons? Remember Simpsons, like, I know a lot of people, I probably said this before in this channel, but a lot of people are like, season 7 is the last. Nah, I'll count like season 12 and 13. It's not like prime, but it's still pretty good. It's like better than anything Family Guy ever came out with. However, Simpsons nowadays, ooh, can't begin to tell you how amazing
Did you see that clip that I sent to the Facebook chat?
Yep. I'm just like, my thing is like, I think I said this maybe a month ago, but Simpsons is like really, really, really expensive to make just because all the voice actors get like a ton of money per episode. And I'm like, Does Fox make so... And the answer is yes to the question I'm about to ask. Does Fox make so much money from syndication that they're just like, whatever, we'll just pay them to make this... this episode because we make $1 billion in syndication? And like I said, the answer is yes. Because it's just like, who watches Simpsons? Like, I bet even the biggest Simpsons fan I know, Eric T, probably doesn't watch anymore. I haven't watched in like 10 years. And then Trevor will send me a reminder that Simpsons is still on like every Sunday. And I'm like, wow. I think they're past 500 episodes. Which is just insane.
Yeah, I can't imagine who the audience is. It's just like, TV is obviously on a decline, and I just don't understand it.
Yeah, and especially nowadays where there are so many options. Like, I mostly watch YouTube nowadays. Like, I'll go through spans where I'll watch a lot of Twitch and stuff like that, but I haven't even been watching Twitch. It's mostly just YouTube. I have people that create content for free, literally, and, like, that's what I watch, you know? What is this?
Yeah, you just have to land on
Oh, that's cool. And then, like, I would rather watch Scott the Woz, who makes content for literally free, and then it's like...
What? Scott sucks.
Really? I like Scott.
I don't know.
I
just don't understand the humor.
His opinions are sometimes kind of funky, but I like the humor.
It's like a dumb zoomer.
Yeah, he's definitely a zoomer. I have a little bit of zoomer inside of me, and that's okay. That's okay.
Can I make this?
But yeah, like, just whoever, you know.
Honestly, I've only watched like 2 videos, and I'm just like, this channel's not for me. So maybe I just chose a bad one.
Or AVGN or whoever. It's like, they literally make it for free. I literally don't have to pay them a single cent. And then they're like, Simpsons is like, 50 million per episode, please, or however much. Then again, the syndication on Simpsons must be insane. Because, like, Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David still make, like, millions and millions and millions 20 years later from Seinfeld
Jerry's
syndication.
so rich.
So
and
rich.
he doesn't do anything anymore.
It's so cool. He does a show on Netflix, which, by the way, everyone, is really good, called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. But it's the perfect... That's me, by the way, every day. Which is perfect for him, because it's like not really scripted. It's just him picking up a famous or not super famous comedian and just like driving around in a fancy or special car.
I actually kind of forgot about this show. Is it any good?
Oh, it's so good. I love it. Me and Ash love it.
Yeah,
and honestly, it's only 15-20 minutes long, and he'll have, you know, friends on like Chris Rock, and then he'll have younger people on that are comedians on like SNL, and it's really good. And my favorite thing is you can easily tell who like the actual honest-to-God funny people are, and the people who are like funny because, you know, you know, the lines are written that way. Like Ricky Gervais has been on it like at least twice, and he's like so annoying but so funny. And it's such a great show. It really is. And it's perfect for Jerry Seinfeld because they could probably like, and he gets to drive around in like these fancy cars that they like borrow or rent or whatever.
I mean, I'm sure you can own any car.
You can own any car, yeah. But it's perfect for him because it's just like unscripted. They could probably do the entire season in like a month. You know what I mean? Just be like, all right, we'll travel here. All right, let's meet this guy. All right, we'll travel here. Who's available today? All right, we'll travel. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine it takes more than an afternoon to make one of these episodes. But yeah, if I was Jerry Seinfeld, I wouldn't do anything. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Would I work if I didn't have to? Are you kidding me? Like, I would, like, have a hobby. I mean, I have hobbies now. Nice! But I wouldn't, like... I might, like, do the boomer thing when, like, boomers come out of retirement, like Dad's favorite guy, Glenn, that record store guy, who was like, I'm retired, and then he was like, I'm bored of this. I'm gonna open up a record store and be open 2 days a week. Like, that's what I would do. Where it's just like, when are you open? Wednesday and Thursday, 1 to 5 p.m. And just like, it gets me out of the house, literally. Like, that's like the rationale. That's based.
Yeah, this room.
Rip.
Okay, so I think I want to go on this one, get the crown, and then jump on this crown, because this one's also the one to get. Yes, got it. I think this is probably the longest stage. Maybe the last stage is longer. It's kind of sad that this is the second to last stage. There's like one more.
It's crazy. I forget how short retro games can be if you know exactly what you're doing. As long as they're not like RPGs meant to be super long.
And
well,
especially like, during the N64, like early on, it's just like, I don't know, you just can't make games longer. It's just too little space.
Even some of the ones that like I talked about last week, where they're like my white whales that I want to do for LPs, like Bart's Nightmare for Super Nintendo. If I actually got good at that game, that would be a 30-minute LP, no question. Like, it's not long, you know? It's just too damn hard.
It's 30 minutes of pure agony.
Pretty much.
Oh my god, this room.
Every single room he walks into.
This one's the worst. For sure. Alright. Oh, I think I've kind of figured out how to do this room on the last playthrough. I was like making it. Why is it so bright? I don't remember that. Okay, good start. Comfy music.
It is very comfy.
Riding on a cheese cracker. Oh my god, please work with me, camera. No. You piece of garbage. I just want to see what I'm doing.
Nope! This is the N64, what are you talking about?
Okay, so I think I just... Okay. And I'm pretty sure I was trying to do this where I grab onto that, but I think it's way easier just for me to jump on this. Yeah. I'm just gonna...
Oh yeah, why not? It gets close enough to you. Be patient.
I gotta do this though. Gotta do somersaults.
And then you gotta do the thing where you spell out your name with the tongue.
T.
Oh, there's 2 there? Gib.
Yeah. Got 20.
Gib.
Is this the last room? I remember this boss being very easy too.
I never would have guessed this would be a one sit down. Also, last week Trevor was like, I know what game I'm doing. It's a 1997 N64 game. I think that's all you said.
Yeah.
And then I googled N64 1997 and I was like, Mystical Ninja starring Goemon! And he was like, good guess, but not.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that, like, just like a couple days before that, I was actually practicing that game. I was just like trying to figure out how to do that game.
And I think Chameleon Twist was my third or fourth guess. I forget what else I guessed. But I was like, 1997 N64 game.
Yeah.
And luckily, there aren't that many games for the 64.
You said Turok and Chameleon Twist as your third guess.
I think Turok was a decent guess, because that's one of those games where I'm like...
That's a game that I want to do, but it's really hard.
When I watch people play that and play it well, I'm like super impressed by it.
Yeah. And like, if I play that game, I'd probably play on the PC.
Yeah, I don't blame you. By the way, you know the... What do you do?
You just,
oh, pull the things out.
Yeah, there's 4 workers in the middle, and then it's dead.
Do you know a game has, like, it's the worst to watch speedruns for is GoldenEye? Have you ever watched a GoldenEye speedrun?
Oh, you can't even see what's happening.
You can't even see what's happening. Yeah. To go faster, you look at the ground.
Yeah. Just to reduce lag.
Yeah, to reduce lag, and that's fine. I mean, high-level speedrunning, that's fine, but it's, like,
and
awful
also,
to watch.
It's also, like, you move diagonally. I think you move a little bit faster, so not only are you not even moving forward, but you're looking at the ground.
Yeah. It is awful to watch. And I know there's a big community for it. There really is, but, ugh.
Ghost Castle.
And this is it?
Yep.
Is there, like, a final boss, or is this just it?
Well, this boss is the best.
Okay.
Also, this, so there's this door here that you need 50 crowns to open.
You have 50 crowns?
Yeah, I obviously have way more than 50. I think I have like 100 something. But, you have pool, and this is the most janky thing in the world.
Oh my god!
So, we could be here for the next 5 minutes.
Dude, this music. What, do you have to get them all in?
Yeah. So you have, like, infinite tries. Like, you don't have to do them, like, all at once. And it's just, like, so awkward. And, like, the problem is that the cue ball is a sprite, so it's hard to even tell, like, where you're hitting it and what direction
wow, you're right. Those are not sprites, but the cue ball is a sprite for
some reasons.
Oh, God.
So if this takes forever, I'm just gonna give up. It's just a gold crown. Oh, wow.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm, like, kind of impressed. Like, I'm annoyed and impressed at the same time, if that
it's
makes
like,
sense.
it's cool, but once there's, like, one ball...
Ah. Banana.
Oh, yeah.
Wow!
It looked like it, like, clipped through the the geometry. Okay.
Pool's one of those things, whenever I see anyone being good at it, like, I'm not talking about, like, the professionals, but just someone being, like, averagely good, I'm like, I want to get good at that, and then I'm like, yeah, no. One thing I want to get back into again is bowling. Ryan, our friend Ryan, has been bowling a lot.
Where's the dumb cue ball? Okay. Alright.
And I'm like, bowling? I'm like, bowling's not bad. Can you hit it again? Oh no, you have to wait till it stops.
You can hit it again, but it has to be like a specific... no. Go in. Go in. Go in. You piece of garbage.
It's like me playing pool. Not even close.
I thought it would bounce. Boom!
Ah!
Yeah. One gold crown.
That's fun. Once again, tech demo. Question of the part. No one's probably still watching, but that's fine. What are games that you would consider...
Everyone loves Chameleon
That's
Twist.
true. And this isn't a long video. It'll be split into 2, obviously, but not a long video. What game would you consider to be a tech demo for a system? So, to make clear, I mean a fully released commercial game. Not something like literally the FF7 tech demo for the PS3. So, just something where like they make it essentially just to be like, look at what the system can do. Let us know below. I'm trying to think some off the top of my head. I know that there's some, but that's one while I'm just sitting here, I'm like,
yeah, I can't think of... I'm not really...
Gotta be something like PlayStation or something like that. I mean, I would even consider something like Heavenly Sword for PS3 to essentially be a tech demo. Like, because it came out pretty early in the PS3's life, and it was like, look at these graphics we can do. I don't know.
The Bouncer for PS2 is a good tech demo game.
That's an early one for sure. Does this turn?
No.
Okay.
It turns that one time, but then it just stays put.
Bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum.
This one's awkward because I'm pretty sure that the only way that you can get up there is, yeah, like very specifically like that.
Huh. Some of these jumps look like you can't make them.
Yeah, I don't know if it's intended or not, but that's the only way that I know to do it.
The classic gamer move, am I right, gamers, where you press the button harder.
and make noises.
And then you hope that pressing the button harder, like, moves you further.
Yeah, us gamers.
Us gamers. Gamers, rise up! Don't rise up. Sit down. You're fine. Boom, boom. I guarantee when I played this as a kid, I never got this far, but I certainly remember this music for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, getting this far, you don't even have to do... There's only 6 stages, but you only have to do 4 of them, because when they branch off, for stage 2 and 3, and 4 and 5, you only have to do 1 of them to continue. So, like, an any percent speedrun would be... I mean, you don't have to get any of the gold crowns. I don't think you need to have them to get the true ending.
Wow.
So just do nothing, do 4 stages, and you're done.
I like how, you had to play that whole pool thing to get 1 crown, and then they gave you just 2 sitting right there.
Yeah. Obviously, it was, like, sort of special, because, you needed 50 crowns to even open the door, which... that's the only thing...
oh yeah, I didn't
like
even think about that. Literally, that was, like... And you said there's no special ending for getting, like, all of them?
I don't think so.
Not that there was literally any... Like, Trevor was right, there was no story beyond, quite literally, hey, look, this chameleon is following this rabbit.
This is, like, probably the worst room in this stage. Oh god, come on. You gotta hit all the candles for a gold crown.
Rip! Bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to play Chameleon Twist 2. I actually never played that game before, so... If it's like this game, but actually has, like, levels...
Oh my god!
I'm not saying that this game is, like, completely unfinished, but it's obvious that, level design is mostly just ideas.
Yeah.
Rather than
it's just,
finished.
like, room-to-room ideas. Very disjointed, which is fine. Did that open anything?
Oh yeah, right. I don't know if that despawns or not if I leave.
Hey, it's Big Boo's haunted house.
Yeah, this one, actually, the first time I played it, I was like, what am I doing? You have to hit the mirrors. Come on.
And it looks like you're being pulled to the center.
Maybe. Not sure. Ah, the best room.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, it's not that long, but it's like once you understand the gimmick, it's not hard. And then there's another one of this room where the platforms are more spaced out, so like it's really frustrating to like lose because it resets the entire room when you fall off.
Whom. I am that sound effect.
Which one? The woo?
No, the
or
wow.
Yeah, it sounds like something started right out of Star Trek.
Can I tell you something? YouTube land, I have never, ever, once watched 1 second of Star Trek.
Yeah. I watched a couple seasons of Next Generation and I liked it.
I just haven't. And I have no interest. I don't even like Star Wars that much, except for the original trilogy and some of the
games.
Some of the games, yeah. I like the ideas of the canon stuff before Disney ruined it. Oh god, just like instantly. I did Shadows of the Empire. Yeah, I did on this channel. Yeah, I think I did it on. Did I do it on normal or hard? One of the two.
I do not remember that.
I think I. Maybe,
I mean, which one you did?
Maybe I did it on easy. I don't care. That game's hard as heck. That was one of those I practiced so much, and then I would sit down and be like, "This game is so hard." That's
yeah, it's mostly just the fact that you have no invulnerability frames.
Yeah.
So you just die in a second if you don't know what's happening.
That boss with IG-88, the trash boss.
Yeah, that's like
holy crap. That's an intense nostalgia game. Ruh-roh.
Come on.
Da-da-da. Rip. Trevor getting BTFO'd every time. What?
Oh, I thought I had to break 3. It doesn't make you do all 4, but I don't know. Maybe there's like a real mirror they have to break or something. Alright, camera. Oh,
Go that thing.
yeah, they're pretty annoying. Please, camera.
Wants to show you close up.
Yeah, you just want to get close to them to spawn some flames and then hit them from a distance, because they just spawn so fast.
So what?
Didn't hit any.
Or no hit. Yeet. Yeet.
Alright, and there's definitely one. I think this is the last room, and there's definitely one crown here. Alright, so we're good. Yes.
There she be. Yeah, the movements in this game can be really cool with the tongue.
It's just, you just wish that there was more of the game, so that's why I'm looking forward to playing Chameleon Twist.
Yeah. I'm curious if it's one of those Banjo-Tooie kind of deals where they, like, do too much, or if it's a solid sequel.
Yeah, if they change too much and, like, make things too complicated, then I can see it ruining it. But I just jump over it.
But before that, we gotta play Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Hey, outside!
That'll be, probably the next game.
Is, Goemon's Great Adventure for N64, is that good?
It's actually a better game than Goemon 64.
Oh, nice. I must admit, I know very little about that game. I played Mystical Ninja starring Goemon a fair share. Never beat it, never even got close, but...
It's just that Goemon 64 is just so intensely nostalgic.
I agree. Oh, yeah.
Alright, final boss, boys.
Wow.
This boss is probably the best one in the game, so at least it ends on a relatively high note.
The frames. Okay.
Alright. My move!
He learned.
Come on.
Is that all you have to do is hit those?
Yeah, there's a second form now. Oh,
Nice.
I didn't know that you can actually hit it from there, so I'm gonna... Stupid purple ball. Come on. I have 2 hits left. Now, if I do get a game over, I do start right here.
Nice.
So not a huge deal. But I'd rather not die in this baby game. Alright, so this boss is weird in the fact that you can kill him in one hit, but you have to hit him with a bunch of balls all at once. Oh, so close. But you have to hit him all at once, and then he'll quickly regenerate, so you have to do it like in one fell swoop.
Pretty cool idea.
So, like, I know one time I was, like, on this boss for, like, 5 minutes in a row. It was just, like, a tug of war. And then one time I, like, killed him in, like, 2 seconds.
I love this music.
Come near me. Yes.
Nice!
Check
That's
out this
cool.
Kino ending.
The chameleon turned back to normal.
It was just somewhere. He just teleported.
Teleport! Wow.
There is a little bit of post-credit stuff, but, yeah.
Quite literally, anti-story.
You at least see the Mad Hatter again, but, yeah.
This game's not multiplayer, is it?
I think there's actually multiplayer mode. I don't know if I ever tried it. Do you have another controller?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wondered because you have the 4 different characters, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's any differences.
I don't know if you can play the campaign, like multiplayer. I think there's just some sort of competitive mode. Man, look at that level design. I want to play that stage. Looks awesome.
Let's try it out, partner.
He's so happy.
The N64 controller, perfect for my 3 hands.
Also, our childhood controller says turbo broken.
I don't feel like using a special edition control. It's like weird. I only have like our childhood controllers, which are completely messed up, and like special edition ones.
Yeah, I'm using the Pokemon Hey You Pikachu controller. I usually bring I have like a purple controller, but forgot it at home.
I should just bring a normal controller home.
Although Spencer's using the green one, we also had a gray one, and that one was a lot more broken. Because we played Mario Party 1 for one time.
Ow! That hurts. I'm doing the Mario Party thing, and I'm like, even that hurts.
I wonder how rare those, you know that class action lawsuit that Nintendo got for that game?
Yeah.
And they had to distribute, like, gloves? I wonder how rare those gloves are.
Nowadays. Davey, you followed me all the way here. Now I'm going to push you off the edge. Did you enjoy your adventure? Come and visit. Anytime.
Again? Come and visit.
Us again.
We'll be waiting for you.
But quite literally 1 hour game.
Beep.
Sorry, my phone keeps beep.
Spencer's too popular with all the ladies. Don't tell Ashley.
RIP! Actually, everyone's just talking about football. Football!
I'm a chameleon again, with a backpack, I guess.
Now he's sad.
Walk.
Okay. Wow. Epic.
130 crowns. Yep, not even 1 hour. Although I don't know if that counts like load times or when I'm in the menu.
Plug me in. Let's go. Japan supply system.
Yeah, they don't even have a Wikipedia page. I looked it up.
Alright, let's see if this does have multiplayer. You might have to reset the system.
That is probably the case.
Classic N64. This game, by the way, was dying on us.
Oh, you have to remove the controller pack.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. But, yeah, when I was... Because the Castlevania also needs a controller pack. And it was like, it literally will not boot.
Huh.
Hello. Come on. We're not even moving the game.
Do the magic.
Gotta move it very slightly. Yeah.
Wow, I've never seen a game that's like, you literally can't have a controller pack. Fred.
Yeah, whatever that means. Survival match.
I guarantee we just knock each other off. Classic N64 just has to shoehorn a,
We have 4 controller ports. Oh. BTFO.
Hurry, what? Okay, Trevor just found that.
This must be good at this game.
Dude, N64 is literally the king of that. Like, every single game. Every single game's like, there's a multiplayer mode. Like, how much did they focus on this? Sure.
Time trial for what? Oh. Destroy the enemies.
Wait, why am I so tiny?
Is there even ice in the regular game? What are we doing?
Oh, hold on. It says 0, 0, 0. Hold on. I'm much tinier than you, by the way.
Yeah, like, what are we doing?
How do you spin around?
Why am I just on the ground? Is this functioning right? Huh?
Oh, it's how much time... It's how much time that you're off the thing.
I'm big and fat.
Hey, how do you spin around on the thing?
Oh, you, while holding B, you press A.
Yeah. Do you notice how tiny I was there for a while? I think the more that you hit me, what the?
Yeah, what is this ice physics? Thank God it's not in the regular game. Sudden death!
Oh God! Why am I so tiny again?
I think you picked up some sort of, like, anti-power-up. I really don't know. This is so stupid. Because you can't do anything.
I mean, I could see 4 players being kind of hectic or whatever. You lost. I'm the king of this game.
That was it? Survival and time travel?
Yeah.
Travel.
Time travel.
Color change. Let's check out the
Sure.
last one.
Oh God.
Damn. What is going on?
Cool. I'm big.
Why are our heads so big?
Dude, literally. Think of how many games have just shoehorned in, no, I'm not the best anymore!
And that's a wrap.
Alright, yeah, Trevor had to wait till he won once. Rep it out. Alright, that's Chameleon Twist 1. We'll bring you 2 at some point in the future. Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. See ya next time!